list after a second federal officer shot somebody there. What agents say led up to the shooting as protesters clashed with law enforcement overnight.
A CMS family says their 13-year-old son was assaulted by his vice principal over a pair of headphones. Now they're prepared to sue the district. Coming up, what the family has to say about the incident and why CMS won't release the security video.
It's a sheer miracle. Bird strikes hit not one, but both engines of this plane, and it landed on water. The miracle on the Hudson, 17 years later, coming up.
And respiratory virus season is in full swing.
We'll verify which one you might have at home. Those stories and much more live, local, and breaking news coming up at 7 a.m. on WCNC Plus.
Well, this is what you're waking up to this morning up in the mountains. Still, it is windy and there is a dusting of snow on the ground. So make sure you're just watching for those icy spots. Not looking at that a little closer to Charlotte. I-77 right here. This is mile marker 8 out near Remount, where cars are definitely traveling quite busily. It's a busy start to the day. We do have this one crash that I want to let you know about. It's the newest one. It's going to be north of Uptown, shoulder blocked I-77 southbound out towards W.T. Harris Boulevard. So keep it in mind, travel safe. We'll have more on those snowy roads on WCNC Plus coming up. But Chris, it's cold out there this morning.
It is so cold, especially this afternoon as the winds are blowing, temperatures in the 30s. Sunshine makes it better, but likely you're going to have a sub-freezing wind chill throughout. But at least it's beautiful and sunny. We're going to take what we can get. Just letting you know, this weekend we'll have a chance for some precipitation on Saturday morning, and there's also an outside chance for a little bit of snow. I know I'm saying that boldly on Sunday. After that, just very cold, but I do have some warmer hope. Check it out, even close to 60 degrees the following Friday, so we'll just look towards that.
Okay.
That's right. All right. Join us 7 a.m. over on WCNC Plus.
for joining us on WCNC Plus at 7 o'clock. I'm Lisa Washington. We continue to follow breaking news this morning in North Charlotte. Firefighters at least one firefighter being treated for minor injuries after a fire at a public storage facility on Reams Road. Charlotte Fire calling this a 2-alarm fire, meaning they had to take additional units to that scene to help fight those flames. Crews were working to contain the fire. Firefighters did give us an update. Listen in.
We had crews on scene within 6 minutes. Upon arrival on scene, we did go working because there was fire showing from approximately 2 units. Shortly after getting on scene, a second alarm was requested, meaning bringing in additional resources because there was so many units. We did have a firefighter that sustained a minor injury. It was evaluated on scene and transported to the hospital for further evaluation. At this time, the Charlotte Fire Investigation Task Force is investigating.
Firefighters say in all about 12 storage units were damaged. As you heard, the cause of that fire is under investigation. Let's check in now with Chris to find out more about our WCNC weather impact forecast. And it is oh so chilly, especially in the mountains this morning.
Yeah, and I just want to preface, this is the difference of temperatures from 24 hours ago. It doesn't feel like minus 25. That would be a different alert status, but it is 25 degrees colder for you in Boone. You're actually above freezing at this point, and a 10-degree difference right here around Charlotte. So our current temperatures, freezing, 31 in Charlotte, 30 in Lincolnton, 16 for you in Boone. Now, if we factor in the winds, yikes status. It feels like one single degree. Actually, that's better than -1 that we had just not too long ago, and it's been as cold as 7 below up here, and that's the reason why we're under an active cold weather advisory up in the mountains, feeling like 22 around Charlotte, so it's going to be very cold for those bus stop goers. For the mountains, by the way, it is Avery, Watauga, and Nash County currently under a 2-hour delay because tomorrow's going to be another cold one. I would not be surprised if they do this again. Just kind of keep that in mind. Not as much of a guarantee as this morning was looking like. Yesterday we were mentioning here on WCNC Plus, it's going to be at least a 2-hour delay. Maybe they go remote, but not too much snow really fell. Most areas saw up to about an inch, and we'll have on and off negative value wind chills throughout the day, but for the most part, it's about 5 below to 5 above 0 throughout the day, with on and off gusts getting up as high as 40 miles per hour. Charlotte, still very active wind gust wise. Gusts up to about 25 will make it feel like it's freezing all day long. Sustained winds as high as about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Yikes. As far as this cold weather advisory, it's going to officially go until tomorrow morning. Once the sun rises up, I think we're going to be done with that. As far as any additional snowfall for the mountains in the near term, we're actively seeing it right in the border of Avery and Burke County, and we'll see on and off snow showers this morning. Not a lot's coming from this, less than an inch, so another dusting to coating of snow is going to be a possibility. Beautiful shot right here over in Concord, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Loving that sunshine. 38 degrees is our high today, 40 right around Lancaster. Sunshine across the board, maybe a couple upper level clouds greet us later on, but as I mentioned, we're in the mid to the upper 30s for the afternoon, feeling on and off like the 20s. Going forward for our future cast, we're dry today and we're dry tomorrow. But once you get to the weekend, here it comes. We're seeing our next chance for precipitation, not just rain, but I'm talking about a wintry mix. I think some sleet, a rain-snow mix, and even snow is a possibility. Up and down I-77, I think you're going to have all the types of winter precipitation rolling through. So I'm going to leave our weather bookmark right here as I show you our 7-day forecast. Our extended forecast is showing that we're going to have another little warm up back to 54. That's the only above average day that we have over the next 7. Another fall down into the lower 40s, the freezing start on Sunday, and then mix of the 40s and the 20s after that. So coming up, I'm going to really just talk about that weekend snow chance if it looks like it's going to come to fruition and how much some areas could see if it does. All right, that's going to end the weather. Let's get right over to Majestic, see how our roads are looking to impact our morning commute.
Let's do it. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're off to a good start to your Thursday morning. Let's take a look at some of our mountain cameras because this is where we'll likely see those snowy and icy impacts. Not seeing anything like this here in the Charlotte metro area. You can see a light dusting of snow, and our Boone camera, a lot of our snow plows have been really making sure that those roads are nice and treated for you for your morning commute. Love seeing that out in Beach, where they are actually taking advantage of these cold temperatures and making their own snow. Mine as well. Here's Banner Elk. You can also see that it is windy conditions for that morning commute, so make sure you're paying attention. You might feel those wind gusts on your car. A little closer to home, this is out near Remount. This is I-77, and our newest crash this morning, it's right here just outside of 485. It's a crash on Independence impacting both directions at Indian Trail Fair Fairview Road. You can see those delays coming in all directions. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll go over a couple other accidents that I'm watching for you carefully.
Majestic, thanks. Right now, the search continues for a missing 14-year-old in Iredell County. Take a look at your screen. Officials say Gideon Ferguson was last seen Wednesday around 4 p.m. on Watermoss Drive in Cleveland. If you have any information where he may be, call 911 immediately. Today, CMPD will release its 2025 end-of-year public safety report. That report is expected to detail the city's latest crime numbers and highlight new initiatives in the department. The briefing is scheduled for 1 this afternoon at CMPD headquarters. Now, this comes as the department is still searching for the person who shot and killed a man just outside of Uptown. It happened Wednesday afternoon on Alpha Mill Lane. That's near North Brevard Street, about a block from Optimist Hall. Family members tell us the victim was Elijah Parker, a father. Officers rushed to a call reporting an assault with a deadly weapon. They found a man on top of Parker crying. CPR was administered. Parker later died. Police say narcotics were nearby. Residents report frequent drug activity in the area. CMPD is urging anyone with information about this shooting to come forward. Time right now, 7:06. The clock is ticking for you to weigh in on the future of transportation across the region. This is for Mecklenburg, Iredell, and Union counties. WCNC Charlotte's Walker Lawson breaks down the projects that you can still weigh in.
Charlotte Regional Transportation Planning Organization, or CRTPO, is wrapping up its 2055 Metropolitan Transportation Plan. It's essentially a roadmap for projects across Mecklenburg, Iredell, and Union counties. We decided to dig in and see what's in the plan. We looked at a set of projects that are called physically constrained, meaning these projects are most likely to be funded. First up, Mecklenburg County. One of the largest projects focuses on interchange improvements at I-85 at Brookshire Freeway and I-85 at W.T. Harris Boulevard. Independence Boulevard is also slated for widening from Wallace Lane to Sardis Road. Over in Union County, plans show a road widening project on US 74 from Indian Trail Fairview Road to North Rocky River Road. Lastly, in Iredell County, widening projects on Brawley School Road and Williamson Road. All of these projects anticipated in the next 10 to 20 years.
They've identified everything from transportation demand management strategies to transit to active transportation corridor enhancements, bicycle pedestrian lanes, multi-use paths, and things like that. One of the other federal requirements we're under with the CMP is to actually assess those strategies and figure out if we're moving the needle.
Walker Lawson, WCNC Charlotte.
Now, the survey to give feedback on that plan is open until February 10th. New data shows the measles outbreak has reached more than 430 cases in the Carolinas. We want to remind folks that Mecklenburg County is offering same-day measles vaccines. We reported just this week officials detected the virus in wastewater at the Sugar Creek treatment plant. So far, no local cases have been reported. Health leaders say you can get walk-in shots at all county clinics. The South Carolina Department of Public Health's mobile health unit will be back in Spartanburg County today, offering free measles and flu vaccines at the Unitarian Universalist Church starting at 11 this morning. Most Americans say they don't want the U.S. getting involved in more overseas operations. See what new polling shows as President Trump weighs military action against several nations. The time is now 7:11, not for sale. That's the message from Danish and Greenland officials to President Trump about the Arctic territory. NBC's Alice Barr has details as they met with administration officials Wednesday at the White House and said they have a different opinion from the president about who should control the territory, but they are open to other options for the U.S. military.
This morning, diplomatic divisions over the fate of Greenland, the Danish territory that President Trump insists the U.S. must control.
We need Greenland for national security.
The president has made his view clear, and we have a different position.
Foreign ministers from Denmark and Greenland meeting at the White House with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who says President Trump would prefer to buy the massive island territory, a proposition that could cost as much as $700 billion, according to three people familiar with the estimate. Denmark, a NATO ally, insists its territory is not for sale. President Trump has not ruled out military force, citing what he views as a threat from other major powers.
The problem is there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it if Russia or China wants to occupy Greenland, but there's everything we can do.
It is not a true narrative that we have, Chinese warships all around the place.
On Capitol Hill, lawmakers in both parties speaking out against military action in Greenland, calling it
the most serious national geopolitical mistake this country could make,
while endorsing the power of alliances and the U.S. military presence already in place in Greenland to secure the Arctic.
The not smart, unachievable way is whoever told the president that this was a viable path. It doesn't make sense.
Among Greenland's population of roughly 57,000, mounting anxiety as leaders promise to keep talking. Focus today back on Venezuela, with opposition leader Maria Corina Machado expected to meet with President Trump, according to a senior White House official. Machado has suggested she may give President Trump her Nobel Peace Prize in thanks for ousting authoritarian leader Nicolas Maduro, though the Nobel Institute says the award cannot be transferred. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Most Americans say they don't want the U.S. getting involved in more conflicts overseas. A new AP poll shows 56% believe President Trump has gone too far with military intervention. A separate Quinnipiac poll shows that strong opposition to several hypothetical actions, including military force in Greenland, which 86% of voters reject. Large majorities also oppose potential action in Iran, Mexico, and Colombia, showing broad resistance to expanding U.S. involvement abroad. President Trump will welcome Venezuela opposition leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado to the White House today. This visit comes after the president declined to endorse her after the U.S. capture of the country's leader, Nicolas Maduro. President Trump allowed Maduro's vice president to assume control. Maduro and his wife were recently captured in a U.S. raid in Venezuela and brought to New York. They've both pleaded not guilty to narco-terrorism and drug trafficking charges there. The Trump administration getting ready to use private military contractors to secure energy and oil assets in Venezuela. This action is being taken as opposed to deploying U.S. troops to the country. President Trump has not ruled out having a U.S. military presence in Venezuela, but separate sources close to the president say that he is leery about doing so, especially for an extended period of time. The Pentagon declined to comment on the matter. In September, the president ordered the Department of Defense to be renamed the Department of War, saying that new title better reflects the current state of the world. A new report from the Congressional Budget Office shows that change could come with a hefty price tag. The office estimates that rebrand could cost around $10 million if done on a limited scale. A broader, faster rollout could push the cost as high as $125 million. The report says most of the expense would come from updating documents, revising websites, and replacing signage across the department. Well, it is National Bagel Day, how you can score deals and freebies at your favorite shops. Approaching 7:18, and right now a CMS family demanding answers after they say their 13-year-old child was physically attacked by a vice principal at Renaissance West STEAM Academy. They say it was all captured on school security cameras, but the district is not releasing that video nor disciplining the vice principal. WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live in West Charlotte this morning with their fight for accountability. Destiny.
Good morning. This family says this all began with something as minor as a pair of headphones, but they say what followed was their 13-year-old son being hospitalized and him being afraid to return to school. Now, back in October at Renaissance West STEAM Academy, Ashley Bolton says her son Carter was asked to remove headphones from around his neck. When he didn't want to, worried they would be confiscated, the school's vice principal, Sanders Fairley, was called in. According to the family and their attorneys, school security video shows Fairley grabbing Carter, attempting to punch him, and then throwing him to the ground. They say Carter was taken to the emergency room where doctors diagnosed him with a traumatic brain injury, corneal abrasions in both eyes, and a large contusion on his forehead.
The knot was huge, and his face was all red, and he was just hysterical. I was just devastated. To watch him be manhandled like that, especially over something so small.
The family says CMS told them their son was suspended for being verbally aggressive and that the force used was considered a restraint. The vice principal also remains employed at the school. Now, Carter's mother tells us CMS still won't release the video even though she signed a privacy waiver. Now the family has filed a police report and is prepared to sue the district. CMS has not commented on this incident or has responded to our request for comment. Live in West Charlotte, I'm Destiny Richards, WCNC Charlotte.
Thanks a lot, Destiny. Okay, so we were talking about a chance for a wintry mix or winter weather this coming weekend. Starting on Monday, I was talking here on WCNC Plus, okay, maybe there's a slight chance, and then that kind of went away, and now it's starting to come back. And the whole reason why is we're going to have a low that's going to develop over in the Gulf, and it's going to take one of three paths. The further east it goes, the less snow that we see. The further west, well, it depends how far west, is going to really dictate what our precipitation is going to be. So this is scenario number two. Scenario number two would be a low pressure system that essentially is just off the shoreline, and that gives the coldest air because the front's going to pass before it. So it's the perfect setup that we need for this to happen. That would give a lot of moisture blasting in from the Atlantic, colder air coming in behind it and allowing for snow on Sunday. It's not just Sunday morning, it's like Sunday afternoon as well. But Model 1 compared to Model 2, this is Model 2, by the way, that I was just showing you. Model 1 has just a chance for flurries east of Charlotte with mainly rain along the shoreline. So if you're going to the beach on Sunday, not a great day with that coastal low regardless. So here's what scenario number one is going to look like, and this one is actually trending to be a little bit more of a possibility. This is that one that I was showing you with the chance for flurries further off towards the east, but it would mean that I think especially east of Charlotte, and Charlotte's right on the line of the I-85 corridor up into Raleigh, that we could have some light snow Sunday morning heading into the afternoon. So it's a big we'll see. The thing with this scenario though is it depends where the temperatures are going to be, because I think likely we're going to be about freezing. So if we do see snow, it might be more of a white rain that not much really accumulates, but it could accumulate on some of those elevated surfaces. We'll be out of here by your Sunday evening, and then after that, we're just plain old cold. So looking at some of our ensemble snowcasts, snowfall forecasts, how much snow if this comes to fruition. Again, this is a giant if. Here on WCNC Plus, I'm just going through the different scenarios, kind of running through the motions. One has a big 0. The one that I am seeing for a higher amount would be up to about an inch. However, as of right now, it looks to be more of a wet snow, so not much would really come with that, just really creating more of a wet ground. So we'll really just wait and see. This is just something that we're watching in the near term. Temperatures are right, especially if this arrives in the morning. If it's more of an afternoon event, I think we could have mainly more of a rain-snow mix. Still not a pretty day whatsoever. Sunshine coming out back after that, below 50 degrees, lows in the 20s, and then the extended forecast actually zooms us close to 60 degrees again next Friday. All right, so here close to home, all is well around Charlotte, but I'm not sure of the traffic situation. What's going on?
Let's get to it. Good morning, everyone. Looking at a handful of ongoing accidents. This is I-77 here, mile marker 8, out towards Remount, where, as you could guess and anticipate, it's going to be a little bit busier now that we're in that 7 o'clock hour. Still seeing very windy and snow-covered conditions out there in the mountains, so just be prepared for that if you are traveling there today. There's our map. We do have a few accidents that you'll want to know about before you do make that morning commute. One of the newest ones, it's right here. It's near I-77. It's not quite there yet. It's going to be at Nations Ford Road, impacting both directions at Westinghouse Boulevard. Once we head to the north just a bit, this one's not too far away. It's at Beam Road, both ways also impacted at Cross Beam Drive. We are seeing improvements with this one. Earlier we did have a lot of yellows and oranges. By this point it's all green, so likely it is clearing. We'll have another check on those roads coming up here soon. Lisa.
Majestic, thanks. Today is National Bagel Day. Bagel shops nationwide are rolling out deals and freebies. Today, Big B Coffee customers can get a bagel and cream cheese for just $1 with the purchase of any 20-ounce or 24-ounce specialty drink. Brugger's Bagels customers who join the chain's rewards program will get a free bagel and some cream cheese. Einstein Brothers customers, if they mention National Bagel Day while ordering, will get a free bagel and schmear with any purchase. And Panera, celebrating by bringing back the Asiago bagel stacks, that is. So you get a buy one, get one with a certain code there, BOGO stack.
I love a good bagel.
I love a good Asiago bagel. So good. What's your favorite?
I like the bagel sandwiches. Not just like the bread, but like where they turn it into like a breakfast sandwich.
Had one in the airport not that long ago.
Yeah.
And
Yum.
And please message me and Majestic if you know a good bagel breakfast place. Because I'm still searching for that perfect breakfast bagel sandwich here in Charlotte. So shout out to you. Help us out here.
All right. Well, we need to take a quick break. Make sure that you keep it right here. Streaming live on WCNC Plus. This is I-77 near mile marker 8. That's Remount Road. You can see the traffic moving along without any problems. We'll be right back.
It is freezing out there wherever you go. 31 right now around the Queen City. It feels like 22 though, so get used to those 20s as far as our wind chills are concerned for the rest of the day. -1 in Boone, so it is worse. 19 degrees around Hickory and then feeling like 24 right around Lincolnton. So it's a colder afternoon. 38 still feeling like 30 degrees. So on and off gusts up to 25 miles per hour will make you feel freezing. Dress accordingly. Luckily, we have that sunshine. Yesterday evening was actually warmer than we have the entirety of today in general. So our morning low so far, 31 degrees. We're going to be much colder by tomorrow, 19 degrees. But check out where we're going. We're back to the 50s on Saturday. Saturday does have a chance for a quick rain. Heading into your Sunday, though, we do have a little disturbance that rolls in. There is a chance for a little bit of snow accumulation or at least a rain-snow mix. We'll keep you updated as that draws a little bit closer. Mix of the 40s after that. All right, Majestic, what's going on for your morning commute?
We're following 6 active crashes for that early Thursday morning commute. I want to take you up north, though, out by Lake Norman. This is I-77, southbound lanes being impacted. Exit 25, that's out towards Samford Road, so stop and go traffic for about 1 mile. Here's a live camera look, not exactly the spot, but one of our best cameras looking near it. This is I-77 near Gilead, so just allow for a little extra drive time.
Happy Thursday. Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus at 7:30. I'm Lisa Washington. This morning, we continue to follow breaking news in North Charlotte. Right now, a firefighter being treated for minor injuries after a fire at a public storage facility on Reams Road. Charlotte fire crews worked to contain that fire earlier this morning. They describe it as a 2-alarm fire, meaning they had to bring in additional crews there. Firefighters say in all, about 12 of those storage units were damaged. The cause of the fire is under investigation. This morning, police are investigating a deadly shooting in Albemarle. Officers tell us they responded to that shooting just after 6 last night near South Bell Avenue, not far from East Main Street. There, they found a man who'd been shot. He later died at the scene. Investigators say it appears the people involved knew each other. It remains an active investigation. And we are learning that someone broke into the home of the late NASCAR driver Greg Biffle and stole $30,000 in cash. According to the Iredell County Sheriff's Office, it happened around 6 o'clock last Thursday evening. This comes just weeks after Biffle and 6 others were killed in a plane crash in Statesville. Right now, authorities have not released any information about a suspect. A former South Carolina lawmaker will spend more than 17 years in federal prison for child sex material. Prosecutors say West Columbia Representative Robert May distributed hundreds of child sexual abuse images and videos using a mobile app. A federal judge called that material among the most severe the court has seen. The judge ordered him to pay restitution to the victims, to register as a lifetime sex offender, and serve 20 years of supervision after he's released from prison. May served in the South Carolina State House from 2020 to 2025. This morning, small bars and restaurants across South Carolina say they are facing yet another challenge. Many say they're already struggling with skyrocketing liquor liability insurance costs, and now a new state mandate would require alcohol server training for all servers and managers. Supporters say it's about safety. Small business owners say the constant changes are hard to keep up with.
There's a lot of changes, and it sucks kind of because well, we have to scramble to try to figure out what to do next and how to get all our people ready to go.
Right now, anyone serving alcohol on site must complete state-approved training and have a certificate by March 2nd. If not, businesses could face penalties. Today marks 17 years since the miracle on the Hudson. That's when a plane leaving LaGuardia Airport in New York was flying to Charlotte and hit a flock of birds, ultimately landing in the Hudson River. Not a single person was injured. WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane joins us live this morning from the Sullenberger Aviation Museum with how this miracle is still making an impact in aviation today, 17 years later. Richard.
Absolutely correct, Lisa. Good morning to you. Good morning, Ben. A good Thursday morning, everyone. Yeah, it's not called the Miracle on the Hudson for nothing. Basically, one flock of birds, they separated, and two birds hitting either engine on this Airbus 320, and the engine's gone. CB Sully Sullenberger had to land. He couldn't get back to the airport. He decided to land on water. The Hudson River in New York on that flight that was coming back to Charlotte. Just so much history, and all of that history can be found out right here at this museum. Shelly Daines is back with us. Hello.
Hello.
You're actually in charge of a tour that goes on here. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we just launched the Miracle on the Hudson experience, which is a new program that I am leading. It's a 2-hour immersive program. You get to walk around the aircraft. You get to talk to me, an aviation historian, an expert on the Miracle on the Hudson. We're going to do some fun activities. One of these I have in my hand right now. It's a ticket activity.
As we come back here live, you can actually see this ticket.
Yeah, so this is a ticket activity that we do on the Miracle on the Hudson experience. You get to take this ticket home with you. We have tickets for passengers and also first responders. This is one of the first responders, Detective Michael Delaney. In the back, it tells you a story about him and how he actually helped save a passenger's life that day. And there are more things to learn about the passengers and other first responders when you take the experience.
And overall, you've met a lot of the passengers, correct?
I've met several of the passengers and talked to them, and it's been one of the highlights of my career, talking to these amazing people who survived something that could have really been terrible and disastrous, and because of the expertise of the crew, they all made it out alive.
And looking at this plane, Ruben was taking some shots of this plane. It actually took a major effort to get it here, right?
Exactly. It took 8 days and multiple state transportation departments to get it here. And actually something interesting is that a lot of the damage that you see on the aircraft was not from the landing. It was from the transportation of the aircraft after the fact. The boats hitting the aircraft that towed the aircraft down the Hudson River, and then the towing of the aircraft on the big cargo trucks to get it down to Charlotte.
And even getting it out of the water, right?
Exactly, and even getting it out of the water caused major damage. So yeah, that is a story that I tell on the Miracle on the Hudson experience. So if you want all the behind the scenes knowledge about this aircraft and this fantastic story, you can come out and see us and take that on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:45 a.m.
And we'll make all of that available on our website. But we don't want to just come here and not talk. We always talk about the Miracle on the Hudson because this is the anniversary, but this is part of a museum that has so much more to offer, correct?
Exactly. We have over 40 aircraft here at the Sullenberger Aviation Museum. We have tons of stories about iconic Carolina's aviators, men, women, military, civilian. We have pretty much everything out here. If you're an aviation enthusiast or if you like history, especially Charlotte history, we have a lot to offer here.
And this is the place to come. This is the place to see. And Shelby's got some more that she's going to show us in the next hour. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. Some more mementos, some. I can tell you there's something like where you have to. I'll tell you about it in an hour. Keep watching on the Plus, folks. That's why we got these special treats for you. We'll see you back in an hour.
I mean, what a tease. You have me on the edge of my seat, Richard. I can't wait to hear.
Don't fall. Don't fall. Ben, make sure she doesn't fall off.
All right, we'll check in with you a little bit later. Richard, thanks so much for that. All right, Majestic, you have a traffic alert to tell us about.
Yeah, we've issued this traffic alert because this is I-485. It is blocked off right now. You cannot drive past this area because there was a car accident right here. A car actually drove off of 485 and there's debris in the middle of the road. You can see there are lots of police officers there on scene. Again, closing down parts of I-485. That's out towards mile marker 18. So that's Oakdale Road. This is what it looks like right now. So if you typically drive this way, this is not the way to go. Cars are not even stopping or not even moving right there. They're completely stopped as they're continuing to clear this road. Here it is on my map right here. Lots of red. It's a serious accident right here. I-485, it's the outer loop of it, and it's specifically between exits 21, that's Oakdale Road, and exit 18. So we're seeing a couple of miles of it being backed up. Again, here's another live camera look of what we're following for you this morning and why we do have a traffic alert in place. We will continue to follow this and give you some best alternate routes coming up soon. Chris?
All right, thanks a lot, Majestic. Wow, what a situation there traffic-wise. Luckily, weather is not hampering that too much besides it being quite cold, so hopefully they can stay in their cars. We are looking at quite the situation right here around Asheville. So I'm swinging over to 240. We're seeing some active accumulating snow. This actually comes from Bradley Collins, who sent this into the NWS chat over there, showing that we have active accumulating snow, even though it doesn't really show up too much here on the Doppler radar. So that's my main point here. Even though we're only seeing some spots of gray, we're still seeing some active snow showers. So I still think that we're going to add a little bit more accumulation compared to what you already saw. A beautiful dusting to a coating of snow. So most likely the Blowing Rock area saw less than an inch to an inch of snow. Still strong winds, as you can see that flag there. And not the best driving conditions, but the crews, Majestic was keeping an eye on them all morning, have been very active so far this morning. How much snow could you see for the rest of today? Now, models are showing up to an inch, so I'm going to say these words again. Now, the dusting to coating, as you just saw, is a possibility, but some areas really aren't going to add too much more compared to what we already have. Now, our wind chills going forward, lower to the mid-20s is where we're at right now, feeling like -1 around Boone. Those wind chills are not going to be really forgiving too much today. Wind gusts constantly getting up to about 25 miles per hour. And our wind chills will remain in the lower to the mid-20s through much of the day, either side of zero for you up in the mountains, and then back into the teens by this evening. And then we're even talking about more negative values for the overnight up in the high country. Going forward, though, we're looking at something new. Weekend Charlotte snow chance. On Monday, I was looking like, oh, maybe this could be a possibility. And then the last couple of days, I'm like, okay, that's not going to happen. Well, now it's kind of back into play. But there's three different scenarios that come with this. So for the time being, we're clearing out with a colder wind. Then we have some up and downs that head through the weekend. Today is still going to be rocking and rolling, not as breezy as yesterday, down by about 5 miles per hour, but still a strong wind out of the northwest on and off, gusting up to 25, creating the coldest afternoon that we have for the foreseeable future. All other days are likely going to be in the 40s. The only other exception is going to be this coming Sunday. But we're keeping an eye on this. This looks to be the scenario. For one, we have a chance for a little bit of cold rain to start off your Saturday. But then this low pressure system is going to sneak up the coast. Depending on how close or how far away it is to the North Carolina shoreline, could be the difference between seeing snow here in Charlotte or not so much at all. So I'll continue to keep you updated going forward. I'm going to show you all the different scenarios each and every half hour. And then our 7-day forecast shows you that 41, 32 is our start and finish to our Sunday. So this is the big weather highlighter. A lot of different scenarios to go through. All more on that coming up.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. A Massachusetts bakery facing death threats after the owner posted a picture of anti-ice cookies. We'll hear from that owner next. time is now 7:43. High prices continue to weigh heavily on Americans' minds and wallets. The good news that inflation continues to cool, although slowly. The latest Consumer Price Index report released on Tuesday shows the pace of inflation rose 0.3% last month. However, there's the bad news. Food, housing, and energy costs all went up. Reporter Jen Sullivan tells us ways you can lower your grocery costs.
The cost of living continues to rise, and consumers are really feeling the crunch at the grocery store.
A lot of people are feeling a lot more pressure shopping for their families.
Kristen McGrath is a senior editor at the Crazy Coupon Lady, a company dedicated to finding ways to save.
Couponing can absolutely make a difference, and how much exactly you're going to save is going to depend on what you need.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture recently broke down the average amount mainland Americans spend on groceries last year. For a family of 4 with 2 kids between ages 6 to 8 and 9 to 11, on the low end, the cost was close to $1,000 in November, with liberal spending as much as $1,600 a month. Compare that spending to 5 years ago, and it's about a few $100s more each month. And food prices continue to go up. The latest Consumer Price Index report shows food prices jumped 0.7% last month. That's where couponing can help. A wide variety of apps can help you find coupons for the items you need at the stores you shop at.
If you're not paying full price, you're winning.
Another tip, memberships to warehouse retail chains like Sam's Club or Costco.
You're buying things in bulk, you're buying more upfront, so that per unit cost, that per pound and that per ounce is going to be a lot lower.
Also, sign up for store rewards programs. And McGrath says grocery stores will also discount items that are close to expiring. She recommends asking the manager about markdowns. And lastly, stick to a list. That can help deter impulse buying. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
The Centers for Disease Control is warning of an outbreak of salmonella infections linked to a Super Greens supplement. Health officials are collecting information on Live It Up Super Greens supplement powder. Data so far shows that product may be contaminated with salmonella. The CDC says at least 45 people have gotten sick in 21 states, including South Carolina. No deaths have been reported. Officials say if you have this supplement powder, either throw it out or return it to the store. A gel superfood product also under recall. The voluntary recall announced by Diva Fam is for all lots and flavors of its sea moss gel superfood. The FDA says it's over a potential risk of botulism. The affected products are packaged in 16-ounce glass jars and were produced before January 9th of this year. To date, there have been no reports of illnesses related to the product. Those who bought it should stop using it and contact the retailer where it was purchased. Your child school will soon be able to serve whole milk again. President Trump signing new legislation that reverses a ban on full-fat and 2% milk in the National School Lunch Program. The previous policy under former President Barack Obama was based on the belief that whole milk caused obesity in children. President Trump says the decision will ensure millions of school-aged children will have access to high-quality milk. The new law will also allow parents to request a substitute for milk. A bakery in Massachusetts is facing intense backlash after the owner posted anti-ice cookies, leading to a wave of threats and even the owner's home address being posted online. Owner Nikki Moran says that she never expected this when she decorated a batch of cookies and that they were made to express her frustration about the current events regarding immigration raids and deportations happening across the country.
People have wished illness and death on my family and my children. We've got a lot of death threats, hoping me and all my female employees get raped and my male employees get robbed, that they're going to lock me in the building and burn the place down with me inside. It's been a lot. There's just a lot going on in the news, and we just get really mad. It's just really frustrating, and sometimes we just need to express it. And there were a lot of protests going on, and it was really just kind of on a whim, and I was like, what if I put this on a cookie? And that was it.
Despite the fear and frustration, the community has rallied behind the small business, packing that bakery to show support. The bakery expects to offer another batch of the controversial cookies today. A major crash due to heavy snow shut down part of an Indiana toll road involving nearly 30 vehicles, trapping an 18-wheeler driver for hours. Chris is going to tell us more about this winter weather. That's next. Time is now 7:50. This morning we saw a historic moment, literally out of this world. Take a listen.
Dragon, SpaceX, we see splashdown. On behalf of SpaceX and NASA, welcome home, Crew 11.
SpaceX, Dragon, it's so good to be home. With deep gratitude to the teams who got us there and back.
And that was the moment 4 NASA astronauts landed off the coast of San Diego just hours ago. The SpaceX Dragon capsule bobbed in the water for just under 30 minutes, even being visited by some dolphins. Now you can see those astronauts later being pulled out safely. We'll get to that in just a moment. There you go. They are part of the Crew 11 mission, returning early from the International Space Station after one of the astronauts had an undisclosed health issue, leading to NASA's first medical evacuation. NASA claims the astronaut and the rest of the crew are doing okay, but needed diagnostic tools that are back here on Earth. The departure leaves behind a skeleton crew of 3 people back at ISS. And take a look at this video from down here on Earth, showing the capsule as it came down. Folks along the California coast could see it. That's so cool. Things like that just don't get old.
Yeah, and I actually looked this up. I was like, how fast are they going? They're moving at about 17,000 miles per hour. When
That's it?
That's it. Just a typical morning stroll as they're on, and then they made contact with the water about 15 miles per hour, so good thing they slowed down.
Yeah, thank goodness they did. I just find it so fascinating, though, that in the history of NASA, because we know the astronauts, not only are they incredibly smart, but of course they're physically fit. They go through such rigorous training and preparation, but when they need to get back to Earth for a medical condition, you know, they have the resources and the plan to make that happen.
They're a total package. They got to be smart. They got to be fit. They need to know what's going on.
Yes.
You can't just wing something like that.
Oh, no, certainly not.
And it's all for one because they all have to come up and down together.
Yeah, right.
Also, it's a little protecting somebody's medical privacy as well.
Of course.
So we're going to turn over to Indiana because I want to show you this.
Tell us more about this.
Check this out. This was a 30-car pileup here in the interstate just east of South Bend. So multiple semis, 18-wheelers. Look at the back of this one. Just crunched in here.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, no, 30 cars, all because of lake effect snow was coming off of Lake Michigan. So yeah, hopefully nothing fell out there. So we'll see what was in that. But here's the reason why that there was that pile up, because of this band of lake effect snow. This is incredible. That would just be constant 1 to 2 inches per hour dumping at a time. You can't see anything. And then, of course, once there's 2 cars, they can be up to 30 just in a heartbeat. So really narrowing it down. It's right in this area that we had that accident where that semi was. Watch. Snow for hours. Luckily, we're not dealing with anything like that. But I want to talk about our next legitimate snow chance. We have snow actively happening in the mountains right now. But over the next 72 hours, that brings us into your Saturday. This is our highest potential for snow, and that's going to be the far western side of the Carolinas. But now Sunday is a big question mark. It was kind of looking like Sunday morning, but this is going to be a forever changing forecast hour by hour, every 6 hours for sure, as we work our way into the evening. But as of right now, I want to show you some of the model comparisons that we're looking at for maybe our first accumulating snow around the Charlotte area, dare I say. Model 2 is showing that widespread snow. Meanwhile, this Model 1 is showing just snow flurries and most of the activity east of I-77 in Charlotte in general. This is the way that things could play out if there wasn't as much activity. This low pressure system, this coastal low, the closer it is, the more snow we could see. The further away it is, the less we're going to see. As of right now, things are shaping up that at least the eastern half of our viewing area could have some snow accumulations heading into your Sunday afternoon. But there's a lot of different things that are going to change there. So it's something that we're going to be watching very closely. I just kind of want to put an asterisk right here on your Sunday that either the morning or the afternoon could have some snow. As of right now, things shaping up to a rain-snow mix right around the Charlotte area. After that, certainly going to be feeling that chill. 45 around Monday, near 50 on Wednesday. We should get warmer after that. All right, Majestic, big time incident. What's going on? What's the update?
Well, we have a traffic alert in place because of this. Look at this. This is I-485 live camera, mile marker right around 17 to 18. It is completely blocked off right now. Parts of I-485 closed because of a serious accident. If this is a commute that you typically take, you are not going to want to drive this way because cars are not even moving at this point. So let's break this down for you. Here's my map. It's going to be north of Uptown right here. Again, the road is blocked between exits 21 and exits 18 because of that serious crash. This is mainly the outer loop that's being impacted here. And again, at least a 3-mile delay. What I want to show you is that we're also seeing those impacts on the other side of it, because notice they have police officers here and then also on the other side as they're trying to clear all of this. Best alternate route this morning would be not to take I-485, but instead try taking Mount Holly Huntersville Road instead.
Majestic, thanks. 7:55 now. We're going to take a quick break. We'll make sure that you keep it right here, streaming live on WCNC Plus. 31 degrees right now. If you're heading out, definitely grab a jacket, a hat, probably some gloves too. We'll be right back.
Well, good morning, everyone. We do have a traffic alert for your Thursday morning commute. Parts of I-485 currently blocked off right now. This is at mile marker 17 to 18, where we are seeing stopped traffic as they are dealing with a serious accident this morning. Once we switch it over to my map, we're seeing a lot of red stop and go traffic or just completely blocked and not moving at all. Again, this is going to be at exit 21 to exit 18. This is mainly the outer loop of I-485, but I am seeing impacts on the other side as well. At least 3 miles backed up in one direction, 2 miles in the other direction. Again, this is what it looks like. Police officers here on scene here. That's going to be stopping traffic coming in from that way, but also the other direction. So don't take I-485 this morning. Instead, your best alternate route, try to take Mount Holly Huntersville Road instead. All right, Chris, it is cold but beautiful outside this morning.
People sitting in that traffic, blaring their heaters for sure. 38, this is the coldest day of the week, feeling like the 20s on and off today. We're back to the 50s on Saturday. We do have a chance for some rain, even a rain-snow mix on Sunday. So a big deal here. Temperatures mixing in the 40s and the 20s after that overall. But focusing in on our coldest part, 19 degrees this coming Friday morning. So stay warm, everybody. We'll be back with another update here in 30 minutes. But you can also catch us live on WCNC Plus. Download it now.
You are streaming live on WCNC Plus at 8 o'clock on this Thursday morning. I'm Lisa Washington, and we're continuing to follow breaking news in North Charlotte this morning. A firefighter being treated for minor injuries after a fire at a public storage facility on Reams Road. You can see Charlotte fire crews working to contain those flames. It started earlier this morning and around 4 o'clock. Firefighters giving us an update from the scene. Take a listen.
We had crews on scene within 6 minutes. Upon arrival on scene, we did go working because there was fire showing from approximately 2 units. Shortly after getting on scene, a second alarm was requested, meaning bringing in additional resources because there was so many units. We did have a firefighter that sustained a minor injury. It was evaluated on scene and transported to the hospital for further evaluation. At this time, the Charlotte Fire Investigation Task Force is investigating.
Firefighters say in all about 12 of those storage units were damaged. As you heard, the cause of that fire remains under investigation. Now, as we are traffic alert this morning.
We're following I-485. It is blocked off right now. This is going to be up in northwest Charlotte. This is mainly the outer loop that's being impacted by this. But take a look at this. All lanes not even moving right now. They're trying to get off of this exit here to try to make some type of movement. But there was a serious accident this morning. A car veered off the road, debris in the middle of the road. And it's important to note that we're mainly seeing those impacts on the outer loop. But we have cones and police officers stopping traffic here, but then you can kind of see the same coming in from the other direction. So bottom line, this is a headache. If you typically drive this way, you're going to want to take an alternate route because, again, the road is blocked, not even moving right here. That's what that purple is indicating here. I-485 is going to be the outer loop between exits 21 and exits 18. At least 3 miles backed up, probably more by this point. And then it's also coming in from the other direction as well. So those are a couple of things to keep in mind. Your best alternate route this morning, don't take I-485 because it's not moving at this point. Your best alternate route to try to get around it is just going to be to try to take Mount Holly Huntersville Road. That's where we do have some better movement at this time. Another thing I want to let you know about, this is on I-77 southbound lanes. One lane right now is blocked because of a crash. It's out at exit 25. That's Samford Road. So if you're taking I-77 southbound, we have a lot of red that's backing up towards Cornelius. About a 3-mile backup right now. So 2 big crashes. We'll have another update for you coming up soon. Chris.
Thanks a lot, Majestic. Okay, so we have a lot going on in the weather world, and it might not look like much because it's just white on this camera. That's whiteout conditions happening on top of Beach Mountain, so not the best ski unless you are extremely experienced, can't even see in front of you, and it's going to be like that most of the day because of those higher winds. Now, the wind advisory officially ends at 11 a.m., but the big new, because we're all about new now and next, the new is that we have a chance for snow this weekend across the area, across the Carolinas, but it all depends. There's a chance Charlotte sees nothing. There's a chance that Charlotte sees something, and that is something in general, because usually we're like, nah, no, you're fine. Earlier this week, it looked like a possibility. Yesterday, not so much. Well, it's back on the table, and then really up and down temperatures the next few days. Right now, we're dealing with some on and off snow. It's active on top of Beach Mountain. Still a possibility for another dusting to a coating of snow throughout today. I think most likely it's less than an inch if we have anything else additionally. But mainly it's just going to be a blustery day. 17, 20, 21, doesn't matter. You're feeling like around 0 or below in Watauga, Avery, and Ashe County. That's not great. Meanwhile, high temperatures just south thereof. Still a chance for a snow flurry for you, especially in Caldwell and Burke County. And then right around 35 degrees for you in Maiden and Catawba County. Mid to the upper 30s outside of that. Staying breezy, feeling like on and off 20s to around 40 degrees. Down towards the south. So I was actually out and about yesterday evening, and yesterday evening was substantially warmer than what our highs are going to be for this afternoon. So that really puts in perspective what that cold front has done to us. How you feel throughout the day, feeling like -6 below 0 up in the mountains, right around the teens through the rest of this morning north of Charlotte, and then the lower to the mid-20s realistically is going to be our real feel throughout today, and then by the evening on and off feeling like the teens and the negative values up in the high country. So boy, we feel general wind chilly. Over the next couple of days, we see some big time changes in the weather category, and that's a possibility of a front and a low that could bring some snow on Sunday. Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon, all in play for potential snowmaking across the area. And I'm not just talking about the mountains, I'm even talking about the shoreline. So coming up, I'm going to have a lot more on that, but just note the bottom today, the top 54 on Saturday, but it should get a little bit warmer after that. All right, a lot more coming up. I'll see you soon.
Chris, thanks so much. Right now, a CMS family is demanding answers after they say their 13-year-old child was physically attacked by a vice principal at Renaissance West STEAM Academy. They say it was all captured on school security cameras, but the district is not releasing that video, nor are they taking any disciplinary action against the vice principal. WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live in West Charlotte this morning with the family's fight for accountability. Destiny.
Well, the family says this all began with something as minor as a pair of headphones, but they say that this is something that has escalated. What followed left their 13-year-old son hospitalized and afraid to return to school. Now, back in October, Renaissance West STEAM Academy, Ashley Bolton says her son Carter was asked to remove headphones from around his neck. When he didn't want to, worried they would be confiscated, the school's vice principal, Sanders Fairley, was called in. According to the family and their attorneys, school security video shows Fairley grabbing Carter, attempting to punch him, and then throwing him to the ground. They say Carter was taken to the emergency room where doctors diagnosed him with a traumatic brain injury, corneal abrasions in both eyes, and a large contusion on his forehead.
The knot was huge, and his face was all red, and he was just hysterical. I was just devastated to watch him be manhandled like that, especially over something so small.
The family says CMS told them their son was suspended for being verbally aggressive and that the force used was considered a restraint. The vice principal also remains employed at the school. Now, Carter's mother says that CMS still won't release the security video, even though she did sign a privacy waiver. The family has filed a police report, and now they're preparing to sue the district. CMS still has not responded to any requests for comment. Live in West Charlotte, I'm Destiny Richards, WCNC Charlotte.
Destiny, thank you. Right now, the search continues for a missing 14-year-old in Iredell County. Take a look at your screen. Officials say Gideon Ferguson was last seen Wednesday around 4 p.m. on Watermoss Drive in Cleveland. If you have any information where he might be, call 911 immediately. Today, CMPD will release its 2025 end-of-year public safety report. That report is expected to detail the city's latest crime numbers and to highlight new initiatives within the department. That briefing is scheduled for 1 this afternoon at CMPD headquarters. And it comes as the department is still searching for the person who shot and killed a man just outside of Uptown. This happened yesterday afternoon on Alpha Mill Lane near North Brevard Street, about a block from Optimist Hall. Family members tell us that victim was Elijah Parker, a father. Officers rushed to a call report of an assault with a deadly weapon. They found a man on top of Parker crying. CPR was administered, but Parker later died. Police say narcotics were nearby. Residents report frequent drug activity in the area. CMPD urging anyone with information in this case to come forward immediately. Well, before we head to break, here is an exclusive shopping deal for our viewers.
Hey, our team tests products every day. We only bring you the winners, and this one is super important because it's about protecting your private information. I have spent years reporting on this and teaching you how to protect yourself, and this product really helps you do that. It's called the ID Defender Premium Stamp Roller Kit, and what it does is it uses patented technology to mask your address. So you can roll through and look, I'm comfortable holding this private information up because you cannot see past it when you use it. Did you know, I just printed out this fake document, when you use a Sharpie on something to cross out your name, your address, all that, a scammer can literally hold it up to the light and actually still be able to read it, but not with this. You roll it through like that, done. You hold this up, a scammer cannot get that information. And you get a 3-pack of these, okay? You get 1,600 uses, which is pretty incredible. And I'm just gonna show you some other documents too. A personal check. Florida vehicle identification card. Again, very comfortable showing you all this because this stuff works and I want you to use it because it does protect yourself. Normally this is $47.97 for a 3-pack kit. Today, a deal, $24.97. One of our biggest deals to date, 48% off. I urge you to go get it. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to shoptvdeals.com.
The time is now 8:12. If you are just joining us, we are traffic alert this morning for an accident that happened here on 485. This is near mile marker 18. This is the outer loop near the Oakdale Road exit. An accident there we've just learned is actually a fatal accident. We're trying to get some more information for you, but you can see the traffic impacts there. Again, this is in the northwest part of 485. This is near mile marker 18, Oakdale Road. As you can see, the traffic there, I mean, just creeping along. The cars are being diverted off of the interstate onto the exit there. We will continue to follow this, but again, the latest news just into our newsroom. This now a deadly accident, the outer loop of 485 near the Oakdale Road exit. We'll check in with Majestic in just a few moments. What you're looking at now are some high school students who walked out of class in Madison, Wisconsin yesterday to protest the death of Renee Nicole Good. She's a 37-year-old mother who was shot and killed by ICE agents in Minneapolis. Those students taking a stand against the recent ICE operations, making their voices heard at the state capitol. Several middle schools and parents also joined that protest. 1 week since the day of that deadly shooting of Renee Good, the Department of Homeland Security says a federal officer in Minneapolis Wednesday shot and wounded a man who, quote, violently assaulted the officer. Reed Binion breaks down the incident.
I urge anyone that is at the scene to leave immediately.
Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara urging protesters to go home Wednesday night amid clashes with law enforcement after a federal officer shot a man in the leg. The Department of Homeland Security said the subject, a Venezuelan man who is in the country illegally, fled in his vehicle during a, quote, targeted traffic stop, then crashed into a parked car and fled on foot. When the officer caught up to him, he allegedly resisted arrest. DHS said 2 other individuals attacked the officer with a snow shovel and a broom handle.
During the struggle, the federal agent discharged his weapon, striking 1 adult male.
Tensions rose as protesters gathered at the scene with a crowd following agents through the neighborhood. Agents launched pepper balls and what sounded like flashbangs. Smoke hung in the air as officers deployed tear gas canisters, with a member of the crowd apparently throwing one of the canisters back at agents. While still demanding ICE leave the city, officials, including the mayor, are asking the public to remain peaceful.
We cannot counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos. For those that have peacefully protested, I applaud you. For those that are taking the bait, you are not helping.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Faith and community leaders in Minneapolis have called for, in their words, a day of truth and freedom next week in response to the violence with ICE. On Friday, January 23rd, that's next Friday, the organizers want members of the community to gather in downtown Minneapolis to march together.
It is a day where every single Minnesotan who loves this state and loves this idea, this notion of truth and freedom reigning true here, will refuse to work, to shop, and to go to school. We are asking every single person, every family member, every teacher, every bus driver, every child care worker, to come together, to be in community, to stand with one another.
Now, in the midst of those tensions, community leaders in Minneapolis say Minnesotans are caring for each other by praying with one another and bringing groceries to those who need them. In Atlanta, a community is raising concerns after protesters say an unexpected site visit may signal that an ICE detention facility could be headed their way. Demonstrators gathered outside a warehouse in Social Circle. That's a building they believe could fit the requirements for such a center. Take a look at this. Now, community members also claim they've received tips that the Department of Homeland Security was heading their way.
We learned that late last night, and with almost no notice, in the rain, on a cold day, a work day, we had 30 people out here protesting at 9 a.m. We know ICE was here because there were 15 cars at a vacant warehouse where there's usually nobody there, and people went inside and were touring the inside of the facility.
Protesters say they'll keep speaking out even as officials stress nothing has been confirmed. 2025 broke many records, including in the music world. Stay with us to hear the growth in audio streams.
Well, good morning, everyone. We have a traffic alert for you this morning. We are watching I-485. It is blocked right now, shut down at Oakdale Road. You can see this is one of our live cameras right here. This is because of a fatal accident that has just been confirmed this morning. This is going to be out at Oakdale Road. Here's one of our perspectives. Cars are trying to get off there at that exit, but really moving very slowly. All lanes currently shut off. Another perspective here is that car debris is still in the middle of the road and they're still out there investigating. So if you typically take I-485, don't drive that way this morning. Again, this is going to be the northwestern half of I-485 where it is completely blocked off at this point. That's what that purple's indicating. Not even moving. That part of that section is just blocked off, but then all of the red is just indicating that cars are trying to get off and merge off, but it's going to be very slow moving. It's about a 3 to 4 mile delay because of that, but even the other direction of 485, the inner loop there, it's also slow moving as people are probably looking to see what's going on. Once we switch it over, I want to show you a best alternate route because I know this is a very busy part of town. If you typically drive this way, I-485, it's mainly the outer loop. Don't drive that way today. Instead, try to take Mount Holly Huntersville Road to try to get around it. That is going to be your best alternate route. We are traffic alert because of this morning. We'll have another check on it coming up. Chris, how's the weather today? Chilly outside this morning, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, at least we got that sunshine, but going forward, our main focus is what's next, what's coming our way. Temperatures are about to zoom back up to the 50s for your Saturday into Sunday. This might not look like much, but that's because we don't really know exactly what's going to set up here. There's just so many pieces that potentially could be on the board. So let's roll through our futurecast first and let's get to the main events. Number one, we're still going to have some lingering snow flurries up in the high country. Sunshine today, but that cold wind out of the northwest is keeping us feeling like the 20s and highs only in the 30s. Yikes. Overnight tonight, it's also going to be our coldest, likely dropping down to around 20 degrees. Few clouds for your Friday, and then here comes our next precipitation chance. Ooh, look at that. That snow in the mountains on Saturday morning, a chance for a wintry mix really northwest of Charlotte. So that means once this cold rain rolls through, anytime you have rain in the 30s, I still think you have a chance for an outside chance of maybe a wet snowflake to mix in or at least some sleet pellets. Sometimes you can almost have a loud rain that is just literally the last melting of the sleet. I think that could be a scenario as well. North of I-40 also has a better chance for some snow mixing in compared to just rain. By about noon, I think we're past and gone. We're good. This model doesn't go any further than this. By this time tomorrow, we're going to have a much better look because that's one of the more reliable ones. This one, Model 2, this is the GFS, the American model. Sadly, it doesn't always do great, especially at certain hours. Has the most intense snowfall. This one that's happening further off towards the left has a little bit better chance, but regardless, both models are implying that we will have snow here in the Carolinas. I'll have one more look at this over the next 30 minutes, showing you a better perspective of what you can see heading into the weekend. But first, this day in history with my man, Larry Sprinkle.
Hi, this is Larry Sprinkle. Time for On This Day in History. A lot of discussion about this, the miracle on the Hudson back in 2009. That was U.S. Air Flight 1549 Airbus A320. Passengers and crew, 155 people on that flight back in 2009. Chesley Sullenberger, the captain, and co-pilot Jeffrey Skiles aboard in command of the flight. It's amazing that it landed on the Hudson River at 3:31 in the afternoon. That's a miraculous picture. The air temperature that day was 20 degrees. The water temperature, 36 degrees. Here's a historical picture of everyone on the wings waiting to be picked up. Miracle on the Hudson. The phrase was first used by former New York Governor David Paterson. We've had a miracle on 34th Street, referring to the movie. I believe now we have a miracle on the Hudson. On the way to the Sullenberger Aviation Museum, that goes back to June 2011. It finally made it to Charlotte. That's On This Day in History. I'm Larry Sprinkle.
2025 was a record-setting year for music streaming. According to a report from Luminate, there were 5.1 trillion on-demand audio streams globally last year. That number topped the previous record from 2024 of 4.8 trillion. Audio streams in the U.S. reached 1.4 trillion. Most of them came from songs older than 5 years. The genres that saw year-over-year growth in the U.S. included Christian and gospel music, rock, and Latin. So, what's your most streamed genre of music?
I'm all over the place. I don't have anything that's consistent.
Okay, I do
I like
listen
a little everything.
A little everything. I do listen to some gospel music sort of when I'm driving in to set the mood, get me ready for the day. But going home, anything goes.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Mine's anything that bops, but I feel like if I were to say my most recurring one is 90s dance music.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I come in the newsroom, I hear you in like the weather center, and it's like, you know what he does there.
I think actually yesterday it was 90s. Found out Return of the Mac is 30 years old this year.
Wow.
I know, right? It's a good year, 1996.
And now we know. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Let us know if you have a favorite genre of music. Just reach out to us. We'd love to hear about that. We're going to come back in just a few moments, but keep it right here live on WCNC Plus. 31 degrees, but it feels like 22. Happy Thursday.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. We do have a traffic impact alert to let you know about. This is I-485 near Oakdale Road that is completely shut down right now because of a fatal crash this morning. You can see all the lanes are blocked off, hardly moving. So if you typically drive this way, you're going to want to take an alternate route. Again, this is between exits 21 and exits 18, the outer loop of I-485. That's kind of the northwestern half of I-485. Once we zoom it out, we're seeing the delays really starting to back up about 3 to 4 miles. And then even coming in on the other way, we're seeing stop and go traffic as well. Again, this is what it looks like this morning. A lot of slow moving conditions. So again, your best alternate route would be to not take I-485 out towards Oakdale Road, but instead try taking Mount Holly Huntersville Road instead. All right, Chris, cold but beautiful for our Thursday morning.
Jesse, thank goodness we have that sunshine, or else 38 would be rough, but it's still going to be on and off 20s throughout today. Gusty winds not going to be your friend, but sunshine will be on your shoulders. We are looking at a nice little warm up back to the 50s on Saturday. There is a chance for a wintry mix to start off your Saturday. More so rain for Charlotte, and then another round of a wintry mix and even some snow is going to be on and off on Sunday. We'll have more on that once more information files in. In the meantime, stay warm, everyone. And also live stream us on WCNC Plus. See you there.
Streaming live at 8:30 on WCNC Plus. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Washington. We are traffic alert right now because of a deadly accident that happened on the outer loop of I-485. Let's get right over to Majestic.
Take a look at this. It's shut down right now. I-485 near Oakdale Road. You can see cars are either completely stopped or just moving very, very slowly because of this serious crash. This is not the way to go today if you typically take I-485. This is really the northwest half of I-485 that's really seeing those impacts. Once we switch over to the map, kind of puts things into perspective a bit more. This purple part is where the road is blocked. Again, this will be the outer loop of I-485 between exits 18 to 21 for the most part, about a 3 to 4 mile backup. So 485 Oakdale Road is where the crash is at, near it, and then this is backing up all the way to I-77. Even on the other side of I-485, we have stop and go conditions. Again, this is what it looks like if you are typically taking I-485, completely stopped or just moving very, very slowly. But we can also look at a couple of other cameras just to put things into perspective. So there's that one. This is where the crash actually happened. So police officers there on scene. You can see all the debris there in the road, but cars are completely backed up. This is mile marker 18. Mile marker 19 right here, hardly moving, getting closer to mile marker 20 here. So again, this is going to be impactful for several miles. Again, the outer loop of I-485 completely shut down near Oakdale Road because of a fatal crash. We're following this for you this morning, and this is why we are traffic alert. We'll have another update coming up soon. Chris.
Great job, Majestic. Yeah, we're really just keeping an eye on the chance for a few more snow flurries up in the high country. 16 degrees, the current temperature right around Boone. 31's our current status here around Charlotte, but will likely be above freezing over the next hour. Sunshine is with us, but it's a tricky day because you have the sunshine, but you also have a stronger wind out of the northwest. So as that solar radiation trying to warm us up, well, we're going to still do that. You still have a stronger, colder wind that's trying to replace it. So that's why we only warm up by about 7 degrees from where we're at right now. Meanwhile, those winds making you feel a whole lot colder. So if you can somehow avoid the wind, which is nearly impossible, especially say in the middle of the grocery store parking lot, it's going to be feeling on and off like 22 to 25. Not just now, but throughout the day, either side of zero for you up in the high country. So here are our wind chills. Forecasted to still be about 19 to 22 from Lincoln to Charlotte by 10 a.m. And then heading into the evening, well, that's where things really start to tank. We're back down into the teens, back to a lot more negative values up in the mountains. And then even Friday afternoon, we return to the 40s, but the winds are still strong enough to keep us feeling like the 30s. And then the 50s, feeling like the 40s heading into the weekend. 38 degrees with sunshine. The camera's a little rocking and rolling here, but it's a beautiful looking day at least, just beautifully cold. And then those winds are going to be sustained about a 10 to 15, gust to about 25 throughout. That cold air is going to hit its bottom for the week, for the near term at least. We see a lot more 20s that start to populate. I see a lot more lower 20s heading into next week. So this list is going to change a lot. This is likely going to be the second coldest morning that we've had so far this season since November, with multiple lower 20s that will replace where we were on Monday and then also the last days of December. So here's our 10-10-10-10 forecast. So this is going to be 10 days of highs, lows, and our precipitation chances. This is the bottom, but we're going to return to the lower 40s again on Sunday and Tuesday. Another shot at 60 degrees, or at least close to, by the following Thursday heading into Friday. But check out these lows. 19 degrees, that's the bottom as well. The lower 20s, as I was mentioning, but at least we see that nice little come up. All right, this is where I'm going to leave my weather bookmark. This weekend, boy, do we have a lot of question marks. I think it will rain on Saturday, but Sunday, we have a chance for snow across the Carolinas. I'll tell you if Charlotte is going to be impacted here shortly.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. Well, we continue to follow breaking news this morning out of North Charlotte, where a firefighter is being treated for some minor injuries after a 2-alarm fire at a public storage facility on Reams Road. Charlotte crews arrived early this morning to fight those flames. Firefighters say in all about 12 storage units were damaged. The cause of the fire is under investigation. And this morning, police are investigating a deadly shooting in Albemarle. Officers tell us they responded to that shooting just after 6 last night near South Bell Avenue, not far from East Main Street. There they found a man who'd been shot. He later died at the scene. Investigators say it appears that people involved knew each other, and this remains an active investigation. We are now learning that someone broke into the home of the late NASCAR driver Greg Biffle and stole $30,000 in cash. That's according to the Iredell County Sheriff's Office. It happened around 6 o'clock last Thursday evening. This comes just weeks after Biffle and 6 others were killed in a plane crash in Statesville. Right now, authorities have not released any information about a suspect. Well, today marks 17 years since the miracle on the Hudson, when a plane leaving LaGuardia Airport in New York was flying to Charlotte and hit a flock of birds, ultimately landing in the Hudson River. Not a single person was injured. WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane is live this morning at the Sullenberger Aviation Museum with how this miracle is still making an impact in aviation 17 years later. Richard.
Absolutely. Good morning to you, Lisa. Good Thursday morning, everybody. When this happened, Lisa, you were about 10 years old, right? But we can tell you that basically this is something that is on the minds of anyone who remembers. And for those people who actually don't remember, well, come on down to the Sullenberger Museum, because we've got Shelby Daines here to tell us about some of the things you can actually see if you come out here.
Exactly. So it's the 17th anniversary of the miracle on the Hudson. That was the day that this Airbus A320 landed on the Hudson River, luckily due to the Captain Sullenberger and First Officer Jeffrey Skiles. But actually we have a new thing that we're launching this year. It's called the Miracle on the Hudson Experience. You'll have a walking tour with me, an expert on the Miracle on the Hudson and trained historian. You'll also have exclusive access to the exhibit movie, some fun activities like an artifact activity. In fact, I'm holding one of the many artifacts that guests get to handle. This is a very special experience. Of course, we don't just allow anybody to handle artifacts. You can see that I'm gloved up. This is protected in a sleeve. This is a safety information card actually from Flight 1549. And like I said, it's just one of the many precious artifacts that guests can experience with this new program.
What are some of the other things that folks can see as far as artifacts?
So we have some passenger items. We even have some of Captain Sullenberger's personal items. And we, of course, have some artifacts pulled out of the aircraft, some life vests, seat cushions, something called Mo Trash, which you'll have to take the experience to find out what that is.
Okay.
And just a couple of different things, letters that we have that were sent to Captain Sullenberger. We have a lot of special things on display ready for people to handle when they come and take this experience on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:45 a.m.
And just to be able to share this history with so many folks, especially the young folks who have may not have an idea about this, I should say, because some young folks do like history. What does that do for you personally?
I think for me personally, it means a lot. I never thought that I was going to be interested in aviation when I got my history degree and decided I wanted to work in museums. And of course, this happened, the Miracle on the Hudson happened when I was in 4th grade, so I don't even really remember it. So I really like to bring that experience to people that weren't around for it, and this is a really great way to get an immersive experience, a detailed understanding of the Miracle on the Hudson, because it is a piece of Charlotte history. Of course, Flight 1549 was coming to Charlotte. And I also want to say that because of the anniversary, the 17th anniversary that is today, we are actually hosting a special edition of the Miracle on the Hudson experience today at 10:45. We still have spots, so you should come see us.
There you go. Come out today. And if you come out today, take part in this very special event. And if you can't, we have the information on our website. Well, Sherry will be here 2 times a week with that special tour that you really have to get involved in. I'm still shocked because she said she was 17 years ago. I was reporting right here in Charlotte. And I was billed, Lisa, let me tell you, when I came to Charlotte, you know what they billed me as? And Ruben's going to laugh at this. One of the most experienced reporters in Charlotte when I first arrived 17 years ago.
Wow. Time goes quickly.
I still like her. She's cool, but wow.
She was 4.
Grade. 4th grade.
Yeah. Okay.
I got to send it back to you guys. You were 4. Wait, not 4. 4th grade. She was 10.
She's in 4th grade.
But still.
Yeah. You're experienced. You're seasoned. That's why we keep you around. You're seasoned. Thank you, Richard. Well, time right now, 8:39. The clock is ticking for you to weigh in on the future of transportation across the region. This is for Mecklenburg, Iredell, and Union counties. WCNC Charlotte's Walker Lawson breaks down the projects that you still have a chance to weigh in on.
Charlotte Regional Transportation Planning Organization, or CRTPO, is wrapping up its 2055 Metropolitan Transportation Plan. It's essentially a roadmap for projects across Mecklenburg, Iredell, and Union counties. We decided to dig in and see what's in the plan. We looked at a set of projects that are called physically constrained, meaning these projects are most likely to be funded. First up, Mecklenburg County. One of the largest projects focuses on interchange improvements at I-85 at Brookshire Freeway and I-85 at W.T. Harris Boulevard. Independence Boulevard is also slated for widening from Wallace Lane to Sardis Road. Over in Union County, plans show a road widening project on US 74 from Indian Trail Fairview Road to North Rocky River Road. Lastly, in Iredell County, widening projects on Brawley School Road and Williamson Road. All of these projects anticipated in the next 10 to 20 years.
They've identified everything from transportation demand management strategies to transit to active transportation corridor enhancements, bicycle pedestrian lanes, multi-use paths, and things like that. One of the other federal requirements we're under with the CMP is to actually assess those strategies and figure out if we're moving the needle.
Walker Lawson, WCNC Charlotte.
The survey to give feedback on the plan is open until February 10th. A major shift could be coming to Team USA with the Winter Games on track to feature one of the most diverse rosters ever. What athletes have to say about that? It's next. The time is now 8:44. One of the last surviving members of America's first black military pilots, the Tuskegee Airman, celebrated his 99th birthday this week. Brigadier General Enoch Woodhouse, or Woody as he's called, is a living history of what it was like for a black man to serve his country during World War II. Amelia Fabiano shows us how he was celebrated for his big milestone.
Surrounded by family, friends, and local leaders, Brigadier General Enoch Woody Woodhouse turned 99 years old Wednesday.
He's a true American hero.
He's one of the last living Tuskegee Airmen, the all-black fighter group that helped defeat Nazi Germany during World War II.
As a member of the greatest generation, your courage and dedication shaped our world.
The celebration at Quincy's Marina Bay, once a naval air station, a fitting backdrop for a man whose life spans nearly a century of service.
We've had a lot of famous people from Boston, but I don't know how many can say that they're a legend, that they changed the history of our country.
Born in Roxbury in 1927, Woody enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Corps on his 17th birthday. He overcame racism to become a commissioned officer. After his time serving our country, he'd go on to become a lawyer, educator, and mentor. Leaders like former Boston Police Commissioner William Gross, Boston's first black police commissioner, speaking about the impact he's made on our community and beyond.
You paved the way so I could be into my dream of law enforcement.
Both the cities of Quincy and Boston now honoring Woody with official proclamations, declaring January 14th Brigadier General Enoch Woody Woodhouse Day.
Today we celebrate a true American hero. General, happy birthday.
His legacy inspiring generations to come.
So I'm going to be back to do your 100th next year.
Amelia Fabiana with that report. The upcoming Winter Games could feature one of the most diverse U.S. Olympic rosters ever. Officials expect more women than ever to compete, and more of them will be women of color. Athletes say the shift is long overdue, but they are encouraged to see real progress and growing representation. Several top medal contenders, including world champions and past Olympic gold medalists, are black women who've helped redefine what winter sports look like in the U.S. While there is still work to do, competitors believe this moment marks meaningful change that hasn't always been accessible to everyone.
I have a dream. My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Well, today marks the 97th birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a leader whose work continues to shape our country. His legacy of justice, equality, and nonviolence still guides communities working toward a more fair and inclusive future. His words and actions continue to inspire new generations to stand up, speak up, and push for change. Cities across the country paused today to honor the impact he made and the progress still ahead. Here in Charlotte, the city is going to hold a wreath-laying ceremony at 11:30 this morning in Marshall Park to remember the life and legacy of Dr. King. The Buddhist monks on a 2,300-mile walk for peace are waking up in Charlotte this morning and getting ready to head to Concord. Hundreds of people, if not thousands, visited them as they made their way into the Queen City. Folks we heard from say the message was captivating. The monks spent the night at the Marion Dill Center in South Charlotte. They told our crew they plan to have another day here in the Queen City and spend the night at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Then they'll be back on the road as soon as they continue their journey to Washington, D.C. And our very own Chris Mulcahy was one of the many out seeing them.
Wow.
You said it was almost life-changing.
It was. Well, first of all, how busy it was insane. Because we were talking about a mile walk for us because everything was so backed up.
Really?
It was about over probably maybe a couple thousand people that were surrounding this.
Okay.
And this is just absolutely incredible. So some of the things that I actually took from this is it's about mindfulness. It's really just about being centered. It's about being in the moment. Where they said try to find at least 1 minute in your hour of work. So 8 minutes total for you just to find some peace. Because he said one of the biggest problems for us to find peace in the world is you have to find peace within yourself.
Right.
So that's step one. One thing I thought was really interesting is like don't let the monkey and tiger control your mind. So what this means is the tiger is aggression, and the monkey is that overactive brain, the multitaskers. Women have a harder time with this. So good luck to this.
So much multitasking.
But just trying to live in the moment overall. And one thing also I took from this is it's easier to forgive others than to forgive yourself. So just it's just so much about living in the moment within yourself. And it's really cool. They also give out these prayer bracelets at the end. The moments of silence, you practice breathing. I highly recommend it. And even just watching them walk by, it's really one of the most ceremonial things you're going to do in your entire life. So you have an opportunity today to see one of the greatest things and a life-changing thing. So I highly recommend it. I actually think Kim, myself, and JT, we're going to go back again today.
Oh, wow. All right. Thanks, Chris. Majestic, I know we're traffic alert right now.
We are traffic alert. Unfortunately, we're following a deadly crash that has parts of I-485 completely shut down. Coming up in just a few minutes, I'm going to be back here giving you the latest details, where it's at, and your best alternate route to get around it. Good morning, everyone. We have issued a traffic alert. I want to show you some of our cameras just to put things into perspective. So this is going to be I-485, the northwestern half of it, where we're following a fatal crash. They have all lanes of I-485 out by Oakdale Road completely blocked off. There's some debris in the road there. And then here is the impacts that you're going to see if this is the commute that maybe you're possibly on right now, sitting there, or if you're thinking you're heading out the door and this is where you typically drive. So this is out again by Oakdale Road. You can see those backups, though. They're going to be extending not just out at Oakdale Road, which is around mile marker 17, 18, but this is now mile marker 19, still not moving really great. Heading over to mile marker 20, that's out by Harris Boulevard, where you can see it is still really jam-packed with a whole lot of traffic, and people are just hardly even moving at this point. Another perspective, I-45 near Harris Boulevard, all lanes right now, hardly moving. So again, this is a fatal crash that we're continuing to follow. It's on the outer loop of I-485 where it's blocked off right now. Again, they're trying to get people to take an exit to try to get around it, but I would suggest avoiding this spot and try to take Mount Holly Huntersville Road instead, because again, this is what it looks like currently. I-485 really backed up. We'll give you another check on our traffic cameras coming up in just a few minutes, but this is what we're looking at as we're changing it to lots of different perspectives around this fatal crash. Chris?
Thanks a lot, Majestic. What a disaster there. Luckily for us, the snow hasn't been a huge impact. There was a 2-hour delay right here around Watauga in Avery County over in Blowing Rock. Actually seeing a little bit of sunshine here as well. The snow has stopped. Still a chance for a few flurries. Models are showing up to another inch of snow. I think it'll be far less than that. So still another dusting could be added on to everything. By noon, 17 feeling like 0, 18 feeling like 2, and then we're back on the negatives through the evening hours. Winds get a little bit lighter, so that does help. And then by tomorrow, it's a little bit better. At least it feels like the 20s compared to the other side of 0. Our temps and our wind chills are all over the place today, but the 30s feel like pretty much sub-freezing temperatures most of the day. And then tomorrow morning is actually going to be our coldest morning of the year. Not to be dramatic, I know it's still early, but 19 degrees. We haven't been this cold since the middle part of December. Going forward, though, just some passing clouds. Next chance for rain Saturday morning. Take care.
Thanks, Chris. National Hat Day is here, giving everyone a reason to pull out their favorite hat and wear it proudly. Hats have carried meaning for centuries, sometimes for protection, sometimes for fashion, other times to show status or tradition. People across the country are marking the occasion by showing off everything from fedoras to sun hats to beanies and winter caps. No matter your style, today is all about having fun and celebrating what your hat says about you. I don't have a lot of hats, but I do enjoy them when I wear them. I like fascinators if I'm going to like a fancy lunch or something. But then when it's cold or you're out in the snow, I mean, you just need something to cover your head.
Yeah, I don't feel like doing your hair. That also helps.
Yes, I think that's me. After work, I always have a hat on. Probably like 8 times out of 10.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Especially when I'm outside. I'm outside most of the time just to cover your face.
What are your favorite types of hats?
I think I mostly have like either fun little sayings or sports teams from back home.
Gotcha. Baseball caps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, happy National Hat Day to
Thank you.
Yeah.
our
Gotta
local
don
hat
one
enthusiasts.
today. All right, we have to take a quick break. Make sure that you keep it right here streaming on WCNC Plus. Our own Jane Monreal is going to take over at the top of the hour live from our Impact studio. Majestic is going to join her there as well as we continue to remain traffic alert following this deadly crash that happened on the outer loop of I-485 near Oakdale Road this morning. You can see traffic is getting by, but still causing some problems there. That's actually the inner loop, I believe, where traffic is moving, but still being diverted from the outer loop. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back here on WCNC Plus.
Well, good Thursday morning, everyone. We have a traffic impact alert to let you know about. I-485 out near Oakdale Road is completely shut down because of a deadly crash this morning. Let me show you what I'm talking about here on my map. It's going to be a backup. I mean, cars are just sitting there because it is closed between exits 18 and exits 21. This is I-485, the outer loop where we're really seeing those impacts. So if you typically drive this way, I suggest avoiding I-485 and then instead try to take Mount Holly Huntersville Road. Again, this is what it looks like. Cars are trying to move slowly but surely, but it's been like this for about an hour now, and we don't have any estimated time as to when it is going to open. Again, I-485 near Oakdale Road is shut down right now because of a fatal crash. All right, Chris, over to you.
It is a beautiful day today, but it's cold. 38, feeling like below freezing most of the day, factoring in those wind chills. Warm by tomorrow, but not for our lows. 19 degrees. Back to the 50s, but we do have a chance for rain, even a wintry mix north of Charlotte on Saturday. Big question mark on Sunday, where we could have a rain-snow mix. We'll be watching this very closely here on WCNC Charlotte as that draws a little bit closer. But regardless, this is a cold, cold week ahead. Mix of the 40s after that. We should have a little bit of a warm-up, though, by day 9 of the forecast, close to 60. Take care, everybody.